I'm Joe at Jacobs & Company Real Estate, here with Scott Jacobs. So Scott, moving into the new year, I've spoken with some people and they're wanting to wait until spring to put their homes on the market, maybe wait for a little boost in value, home value. But isn't now the time to get your home ready for spring?
Yeah, so traditionally, look, so many consumers out there, are fixated on the idea that spring is the best time to bring their home on the market. And, maybe to some degree, Joe, that might have been true probably pre-pandemic, but the pandemic really changed the way we work. It changed the patterns in which we move. We are going into something entirely different. We are seeing interest rates continuously rise to try to stave off inflation. The only mechanism the Fed has is to increase interest rates. Well, if interest rates are at 8%, why are we thinking that spring they're going to be any cheaper? You know what I mean? For the last 2 years, we've generated over 30% equity, probably about 5% in 2022, which is just impressive. So you're talking about 35% equity return on your investment in the last 3 years, okay? And we've been kind of going at a pretty steady pace, but guess what? It's going to stop. It's going to stop. As we go into Q1 or Q2 of 2023, I assure you, the most overheated markets, you pick it, Denver, Colorado, Phoenix, Scottsdale, Arizona, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas, many parts of Florida, they are already seeing dramatic pullback, from the market. I think you're actually going to see higher interest rates, higher than what we're seeing today, probably around 7% on a traditional 30-year fixed rate mortgage. That springtime, maybe 8%. But guess what? As rates continue to go up, that impedes buyers' ability to afford more house. So eventually what's going to happen is the price of your home stops going up. It actually flattens out and starts to go down. My best guess is in 2023, even in an area as hot as the Northern Virginia marketplace, we probably are down 5% next year, equity return on investment. So right now, as a seller, while you really haven't lost any equity yet, and interest rates, might be at 7, this is the best possible time for you to position your home on the market.
So if you're planning on putting your house on the market in spring, now is the time to put your house on the market. Don't be scared with interest rates. They may even climb a little bit more from where we are now, but now is the time to prepare your home to put on the market before there's competition in spring, as Scott was saying.
Yeah, absolutely. So I couldn't agree with you more, right? Interest rates are high right now. There's no denying that, but the buyers are still out, okay? So look, sell now while interest rates might be around 7%, because guess what? I think they're going to probably hit 8 before it's all said and done. You're a lot better off as a seller to sell when interest rates are at 7 versus at 8. You're a lot better off to sell as a seller when there's very little to no competition amongst your neighbors, right? Versus everybody just went onto the market when the flowers start blooming, sure, right? Sure. And then that's when, the buyers have a plethora of inventory to select from. They can be picky, and then guess what? That's when you start to see the lowball offers, a sale happens, and everybody starts chasing the market down.
Right. And speaking of buyers, I spoke with some buyers who are just terrified of the interest rate right now. What could we say to them to kind of take the scare out of that?
Here's what I know. Either you're going to rent it or you're going to own it. And if we can show the consumer a way to where you can afford to buy a property similar to the one that you would rent and what your rent actually would be, it's a no-brainer, right? Doesn't matter if it's at 7% or at 9%. If it just makes sense, it just makes sense, right? We're not seeing rents go down, right? We're only seeing them appreciate. So look, right now where there's not a whole lot of inventory, but yet from a seasonality standpoint, it gets dark and it gets cold, and that weighs on sellers' emotion. We're seeing average days on market appreciate, right? We used to be 1 to 2 weeks. Now we're 3 to 4 weeks. That plays on sellers' emotions. So as a buyer right now, you have your pick of the litter, right? And you can negotiate the terms that are most favorable to you, and that is the night and day difference from what we experience in this marketplace.
Which may or may not include being able to buy down that interest rate.
Hey, yeah, and that's another thing too, because the idea is eventually rates will come down. I don't know anybody that's ever going to get reelected with interest rates around 7 or 8%. So we can fully kind of prepare ourselves to see rates come down, if not mid-year 2023 into the fourth quarter, as people are looking to cast their ballots, right? You know,
And when those come down, the ability to refinance and bring that interest rate down.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're going to have an opportunity to refinance, you know what I mean, and get a much better rate. But you know what? Maybe you captured equity appreciation, you got the mortgage write-off, and guess what? You're in a property. If you want to paint the bedroom pink, you can paint the bedroom pink. If you want to do something special in your backyard, you go right along and do that, rather than having somebody tell you, no, 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 you can't do that. Who wants that?
So hey, if you don't want to wait until spring to get your home on the market, give us a call here at Jacobs & Company Real Estate, 703-594-3800.
We'd love to talk to you.